Hi, everybody. I'm really actually quite amazed that at this hour that everybody's calling in from the east and also on the west coast. I know, well, from the west side of the world, we're getting quite a few people too. Um, I thought when Pat first chatted with me a couple of weeks ago, I thought, hey, it would be nice to chat with some of the folks and be able to perhaps share some of the information that we have. And I think it's worth listening to this call and hopefully you will answer some of your questions because the Well Spa as a device is something that I've been thinking a whole bunch of over the last few years. And you notice that all the devices that we have produced up to this point and launched, they tend to be sort of really focused on the skin. They're beauty devices in a way. And I've always wondered that whether that we can make a device that is both a beauty device and a wellness device. In other words, it also brings benefits to inside the body.
Mm.
And that's to me, it would make a device way more useful and also really distinguish it and some all the other devices that we have. So it took some time to be able to really accomplish that particular objective because it's not easy, right? This has not been done before. And I also have to remember that this particular device, when we launch it, it really, people may still view it as a beauty device and it would not accomplish what I really think what this device would do. So for this particular meeting, you've heard quite a bit, really, probably from some of your downlines, uplines, sidelines, whatever, about this device. But the information may not be as exhaustive and informative as I think. Perhaps this call I can accomplish that with you, right? Let me share my slides with you and be able to sort of really, let's see if I bring it up.
There you go.
Let me see where I have. All right. Here we go. Hang on. See my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. What we're really talking about is a particular system in the body that is called the lymphatic system. And this whole system or network of, I guess you call them vessels, they're very much similar to blood vessels. They lie just below the skin, okay? And its major function, it goes throughout the body. In fact, when you look and map out this lymphatic system, it's 3 times larger than what the blood circulation system is, okay? So it's really quite widespread throughout the body. And one of the things it does is obviously it has fluid in it, but if you look at it very carefully, you see there's something missing, which is present in the blood circulatory system, and that is a pump. When you look at blood and see how it moves throughout the body, it moves with the assistance of the heart, which is really a pump. The blood goes in, it gets oxygenated, and then it pumps out to the rest of the body. So whether you're lying down, standing up, sitting down, the blood circulates very effectively because of this pump. The lymphatic system, although it's more widespread than the blood circulation system, it doesn't have a pump. So it purely relies on gravity and really passive transportation of the lymph fluid throughout the body. So you can imagine without the pump, when you are sitting down, the gravity, and especially if you're with your knees bent, there is a great resistance for that lymph fluid to move. And that is why, for example, and I think many of you will relate to it, you travel so much, is the fact that after about 6 to 7 hours on a plane, on a flight in a plane, your ankles swell up. It gets enlarged, and it's because the lymph fluid is starting to accumulate and pool at the bottom of your feet. It just cannot move up. So, and you can now begin to appreciate, I hope, that this lymphatic system is very dependent on gravity to circulate throughout the body. So how does it move? One of the things that it does very well is that since they're on the pretty in close proximity to the muscle is really the contraction of the muscle throughout the body is the only way the lymph fluid can move. All right. So when you're standing up and if you're walking, you're obviously exercising your calf muscles and some of the thigh muscles. And in addition to obviously help you to walk, that contraction of the muscle starts moving the lymph fluid up to the upper body where it needs to go, because that's where the reservoirs are. And that's where all the lymph fluid would accumulate, and it will then get distributed throughout the body. All right. So this is the key thing. If you don't exercise or you don't walk enough, your lymphatic system is being affected in a negative manner. So it's fairly remarkable. You can see, this is just a graphical representation. The green lines show how the lymph is so much more widespread than compared to the red lines, and that's the blood circulation, together with how they're all eventually being connected to the heart. So unfortunately, when you look at a lymphatic system, though, what we have learned is the fact that it's like any other aging phenomenon. It gets weaker and more sluggish over time, right? And that is because some of your vessels are not so, they sort of tend to deteriorate when you get older. And therefore the lymph is already suffering from the lack of a pump with less vessels, lymphatic vessels around, then the fluid cannot go to all the different areas of the body. So you can also imagine, as you get older, our muscles will also get weaker. So the combination of those two things happening during the aging process will then to get the lymphatic system get weaker over time. But that's not just the age, right? When you look at our modern lifestyle, what do we really do? I mean, for the next hour, all of us are sitting down here, listening to me chatting away and yakking away, and we're not moving, right? And in fact, this is not the only opportunity or only time during the day where you have or you had been sitting down. Some of you in Asia, you're just waking up, I think, and it's likely that you won't be exercising as much as you should be. And then if you go on a flight, again, that reduces the opportunity to exercise and move your lymph system. So all these things in aggregate comprise our modern lifestyle, and that becomes a challenge, right? Our muscles are not moving, therefore our lymphatic system doesn't move. So what do we do? So the lymphatic system, they're like three important functions. I already mentioned the importance of the fluid moving throughout the body. Why is that important? It is the only transport of immune cells to where they are needed. Okay, the immune cells come out from the blood or come out from the tissues and so on to get into the lymph and that's how they get transported throughout the body. If the lymphatic system is not moving, obviously you can see the immune cells cannot get to the so-called site of action. There's a second equally important function of the lymphatic system. It's almost acting as the sort of sewage system for your body. And the reason why I call it a sewage system is because the toxic metabolites that are being produced during our normal and regular metabolism, they've got to get away, right? So, and once again, the lymphatic system is the system that has been developed by the body to get rid of all those natural toxic byproducts that are being produced during metabolism or the normal functioning of your body. And a good example of that, and this has nothing to do with, but just to show you the importance of the toxic metabolites and why it is so critical they don't build up, is the fact that the kidneys, the organ that we all realize will eventually get rid of toxic metabolites in the body, either through urination, right? So if your kidneys are not functioning and they're not excreting these toxic metabolites, most of these patients will have to go for renal dialysis. In other words, they got to take out their blood to go through a blood purification machine before returning the blood to the body. So you can imagine that similarly, under the normal processes that we function, all the biochemistry that happens in the body, we need the lymphatic system to function effectively as a detoxification system. So there's a second one. Now, there's a third one that's also interesting, and it's not apparent to anybody, but when the fat tissue, when we are losing weight, there is a need for those fat tissue that's being released, or the fat cells, or all the fat is being released during your weight management or weight loss process. They have to be transported away. And once again, the lymphatic system comes into play during those conditions. All right. So this device that we have, I'll show you the actual picture of it, but I wanted to show you the graphical representation of these nodes, we call them. All right. These are metallic nodes. They're specially designed to be in close contact with the skin. And when you rub it across the skin, it actually will also rub the lymphatic system to keep it moving. All right. So this is a special design that our engineers have come up with that provides the most efficient sort of massaging, if you will, of the lymphatic system. So keep that in mind. That's the sort of the architecture or the structural design of this new device that we are going to launch next month or so, or over the next second half of this year. It also conducts an electrical current, very much like that what you are used to, like the galvanic spa, or the recent, boost EH-Lock boost facial system and so on. The current is different though, but it's still an electrical current that needs to be present in this device, because the electrical current also helps to stimulate the lymphatic system, because the gel, in order to conduct electricity, the device, right, you have to put the gel on the skin and then put the device in contact with the gel to conduct electricity. And while it's doing that, it will deliver, or it will get the active ingredients that we have in the gel into the skin. And that also contributes to the overall health benefits that one gets from this particular device. So the electrical current is also quite important for the optimal function of this WellSpa. We call it a WellSpa IO. Now, think about it. This is also quite important. Finally, I think we are beginning to see the incorporation of this IO is a smart device, because the IO element or the IO component in this that we have built into this device helps you to monitor how well you're using this device throughout your body. It will constantly adjust on the pressure and whether you're in constant contact with the skin, because if it doesn't, it will automatically adjust to make sure that the device is functioning. All right. And we couldn't have done it before without the IO component. With the IO component, we can achieve that particular result. And because importantly, although when we look at our skin, it looks smooth and it's level, but it really isn't. It's actually quite up and down, and it's undulating, we call it. And we have to make sure that the electrical current that we are delivering is being delivered all the time. Now, another thing with the help of the IO is to make sure that when you use it at certain parts of the body here, and I illustrate down on the calf, that you are actually massaging or moving the device upwards. All right. Because if you move it in a circular fashion or moving it downwards, it will not help the lymph to move up. It's pretty critical. And again, the IO is a good element to have, because it will ensure that you are reminded to move this device always upwards towards your chest area, because that's where the lymph needs to go. Right. And what we have done is, when we do this, we're actually seeing some of the cells in the skin, and not just the skin, but also other non-skin cells below the skin surface. They all seem to be affected by this Wellspa movement and electrical current. In fact, we can look, if you look at it, it's like H-log, we do a lot of gene expression science, right? So we can find that the genes relating to the wellness and also the skin health, they're all being activated, if you will, with the use of the Wellspa. And when it happens, it also leads to two other things, and that is the release of this particular substance. And you don't have to worry about it. It's nitric oxide. It's a very important short-lived substance that's being released in blood vessels, and that helps to keep the blood vessels open. So this is an unforeseen benefit too, that we think because of that action, it can also improve microcirculation. This is the blood microcirculation whenever you use the device. So this is just a cross section of the particular skin, looking at it sideways, and these are the lymphatic systems, that's the skin layer, and you can see they're very close and in constant contact with the skin. So when you move the device over, you can see how we can achieve some effect and impact on the particular skin. So what does all this do, right? This is all the science, and this is the reason and the rationale. It's pretty exciting to us, because we're the only company right now that can that have achieved a beauty and a wellness totally integrated device. All right, no other device actually in the market right now can achieve this. And some of the early studies, I'll show you some pictures of some of the early studies that we have done with this particular one. And I think the skin is a good, I mean, this in and of itself is already dramatic, right? You can see when you use the Wellspa on the skin, you can see a very significant reduction of cellulite. But what is more exciting for me is the fact that the cellulite although it's already in and of itself a great benefit, it also is a good indicator of what's happening inside the body. So it's almost like it's a marker of internal wellness as well. So to get this result is pretty exciting to me. That with the well spa. Here's another picture. Am I? Oh, you can see, Pat. You can see all these pictures, right? And just to confirm.
You haven't moved for a few slides, I think.
Let me
We're
stop.
only at one now.
Okay, let me.
We only see the one that has a green and pink lines. Yeah.
Yeah, with
You
the skin.
share. Let me see. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is some of the clinical studies we've done. I've been talking about cellulite, if you will. You can see a dramatic improvement in cellulite in this individual. And as I mentioned, that this is also a good indicator of what's happening inside the body as well. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I'll share with another one. Let me see. I'll share another picture. Okay, can you see this one? No,
Yet.
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Can you see it now? Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You can see it, right? So similarly, you can see this lady has a pretty advanced stage of cellulitis, if you will, or cellulite. And again, even in this individual, we can see after week 12, a very dramatic improvement on the skin surface, which once again is an illustration and indication of internal wellness as well. Because cellulite, from many scientific studies, it has been shown that it is due to the fat, and when we smooth out the fat layer, some of the fat cells are being destroyed and taken away, and that is through the lymphatic system. So this is a good indication.
Wow.
Okay. Now I'll show you one more, if I may, and this is on the arm. Let me see. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what the Asians call the bye-bye fat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once again, you can see with the use of the body, with the well spa, that is a great reduction. So it doesn't happen just on the thighs or the back of the thighs. It happens really throughout the body whenever you apply the device. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty impressive, you know, how this device is performing for us. I think that may be the last one. Yep, that's the last one I want to show you. And yeah, I wonder whether I have another one here. Okay. I might want to show you this too, because this one will demonstrate how this thing, many of you in Asia, you have been doing wonderfully well with the TME, okay? And it's sort of been able to, well, spa high level. Why can't I show this? Okay. And this particular device is a perfect complement with the TME system, because we're getting interesting results. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so we decided, since we have TME coming out in most of the markets and so on, and this is been used within 14 days, and frankly, I mean, the 14 days is not going to be your permanent result. The 14 days is really, we look upon it as a sampling kit, TME, the 14-day system, and truly you need to go into the 90-day system where the more permanent results, if you will, can be achieved over a period of 3 months rather than just 14 days. But be that as it may, we also wanted to know, when we launch this particular well spa, right, and you already have TME going on, what will it do when a person uses both system? All right. And we've done a study with it. And can you see it? So at the end of the 14 days, we sort of asked the individual, right, hey, this device you're using with your TME, does it do anything for you? It seems 10 out of 10, when they say these are their responses, we just ask them the question. We never give them the answer. You say, well, how do you feel? Well, it looks like they're coming back with this type of answers, and that is the skin feel energized, it stimulates the skin, you know, they actually feel more balanced and centered. So this is a good indicator of what I've been talking about up to this point. And there's an internal, we never got this kind of feedback before with any of our beauty devices, but with this particular one, it looks like it's doing quite a few things, you know, inside the body as well. And I think I'm pretty confident that when you get this particular device, you're going to be reacting in a similar fashion. So, and these are just, again, some of the before and after pictures. After TME, you can achieve it that and so on. So, and this is a guy. Once again, you can see the silhouette or the side view of the body looks much better in the presence of TME and using of the of this well spa. So what I'm saying is, right, they're complementary. So on the business side, if you will, it kind of look upon it that this is like a 1-2 punch. You know, it's not just about that TME standalone, but you can, and the well spa is all by itself, but for all intents and purposes, they can both be used together. So that's great.
Wow.
All right. So I think I've given you most of the information that we have. And
Okay.
like,
That's
hang
quite
on a
a bit
minute.
of
The sun is in my eye. I'll step away 1 second to lower my blind.
Okay, sure.
I think there are a lot of questions, Pat, in the chat.
Okay, let me go there. Good morning.
Okay,
good
I'm back.
evening.
Okay, Joe, there's questions here. There's somebody named, will people who have or are prone to blood clots use the WellSpa IO?
Well, the blood clots, I'm hoping they're being treated and so on. I think that would be a little bit, I think because of the movement of this particular device, it might not be prudent or without checking with a doctor and making sure that it doesn't affect blood clot as well.
Okay, someone asked, can this help those who has very close vein issue?
Most likely, yes. We haven't done that study yet, but it's likely to. varicose veins are really, for intents and purposes, I mean, it's blood being sluggish, right? So, and it's not moving up. The veins are less flowing, if you will, than compared to the arteries, and they tend to show up as varicose veins in some people, and I think it can help by using the well spa.
Mm.
Okay, someone asked the question, wait a minute. The first question is, what is the right way to position wellness IO? If asked, what is a wellness IO? How would you position?
I would say it's a device that can truly help you to detoxify your body and purifies it.
Mm.
And someone asked, what's the difference? Wait a minute, what was that? What's the difference between well spa and body spa?
The body spa doesn't have this ability because of its design to be effective on the lymphatic system. Okay, you notice the body spa, when you look at it, it's almost, I mean, while we try to make it like a sneaker, the sole of a sneaker, but it's still too flat. It doesn't really move the lymphatic system as much as it should be. So I would not look upon the body spa, the previous one or the current one, depending on how you look at it, this is an upgrade of that particular device. This is an entirely new device because of its design, because of its new electrical technology, and the IO component to it. Yeah.
And then it's asking, Dr. Joe, is there opinion that those with ongoing cancer should not be doing any lymphatic drainage? Would this then be not advised?
I
know
Mm.
people ask all these weird
Yeah,
questions.
I
Well,
don't really know. So at this point in time, I probably can't answer that question.
Okay, good.
okay, good.
Oh, thanks for the information, Dr. Joe. Can you do a bit more about the gels? Is body shaping gel can be used or no longer needed for the upcoming Well Spa IO?
The body shaping gel, it's good. You should be, if you're using it, keep using it. But it doesn't have the right viscosity, the thickness of the gel, if you will, than the specially designed Well Spa gel. Okay. The specially designed, I think you might have seen, is called the body serum and so on. It has some unique ingredients we have put in that penetrates into through the skin and helps to provide the additional health benefits. The shaping gel only has skin benefits.
Mm. Okay.
What about the conductive gel?
The conductive gel is exactly what it is. It conducts, and that's it.
Okay. Okay, somebody asked, would there be any contraindication with people with high blood pressure and those with pacemaker?
Not with high blood pressure, but with a pacemaker, I think we tend to always advise at that particular recommend that the device, before using it, is to consult with a physician.
Yeah, I agree. Did this phase out the galvanic body?
Well, this would
Eventually, I suspect, yeah, we will sell out.
replace the body spa, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
we're at capacity, 500 participants, Joe.
Okay.
So
I know we're at capacity. So Alfred asked another question. Does Well Spa serves as a lymph pump? If we just put it stationary, let's say under the feet, it circulates the lymph fluid? or is the movement of the well spa moving the lymph fluid?
It's the movement of the well spa. You gotta move it. You cannot just put it there.
Okay,
Mm.
Gotta move it. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Can a person with sensitive skin use this?
Yes.
Wow, we have lots of questions. Oh my God. Okay. Dr. Joe, is there opinion that those with, okay, this one already said, legal compliance wise, can we use detox and cleansing to describe well spa?
I think depending on the market and so on, but right now, the one word that appears to be compliant throughout the world would be the word purification.
Mm,
You know, for intents and purpose, when you think about it, what is the result of detoxification? Right? The result of that is to purify the body. So the word purify is likely, no matter in whatever translation, I suspect it will be acceptable.
mm.
Okay.
If a person varicose vein, you already answered, yes, you can. Somebody asked, Lenny asked, can well spa IO be said to be lymphatic drainage, especially in the Malaysia market?
Well, before you answer, Joe, I mean, a lot of these questions, kind of, we don't know yet. Okay, so I'm not so sure you want to answer all these questions, Joe.
Yeah, although some of the ones we're probably in the active process of seeing whether we are compliant or not. So, you know, I wouldn't be, like Pat say, it's unlikely for me to be able to answer that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says, okay, yeah, a lot of these, wow, Joe, you have 10,000 questions here.
I know. Most of
You're
it.
coming in with
Yeah.
all the questions.
Maybe we can reserve some of these questions for when people have started
later
using them. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And they should ask their market because, oh, there's a question, interesting. I think if I'm correct, in the PIP, you should not use it above your neck, not in front of the neck. Or somebody's asking, I guess that's going to be explained in the PIP, right?
Right. It will be explaining it. Yeah, okay. In that one.
Yeah.
Now, well, 2 weeks ago when we chatted, Joe, you mentioned the 3 R's about the
Good point. Good point. So the 3 R's, for intents and purposes, it refers to restoring the body. All right. I think that's already pretty self-explanatory. It will revive the skin. Again, I think that's quite self-evident. And then finally, it will recover the body. And this recovery phase will be very interesting because, frankly, I think this is the first device I think will also appeal equally to the guys, to the males. All right. Because recovery, right? After any other strenuous exercise of any sort, this particular device will help in the recovery phase. You know,
you mean if for example, an athlete or someone who went to the gym and did some heavy exercises,
yeah,
and get sore muscles afterwards, this device will help, right?
Right. So you notice that, you know, most athletes, including professional athletes and so on, as soon as they finish a game, baseball, football, whatever, what do? They go for a massage.
Yeah.
It helped them to recover. So the mere action, just that alone, that you can achieve with this well spa, is good for recovery.
Wow.
That's gonna be a great.
That will be a great advantage. for them.
I think
Mhm.
so. In fact, I would say that every athlete or anybody who goes to the gym should have a body device in the well spa in their gym bag.
So this applies to both men and women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is pretty key, I think, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I don't know, any other questions that, okay, I think a lot of these questions, each market is a little bit different, so I think you need to check with your market.
yeah,
Well,
It's
I
supposed
guess
to do the 3 Rs.
in certain markets, they will launch this or preview this earlier, right? I mean, in the US, they're still pending registration, so we don't know when they'll be available.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. We're hoping, obviously, like everything else, having that done
Yeah. So,
definitely before the year. end of
yes,
the-
I want to remind every person listening to this, if you are someone in the US market, please do not put it on the social media. Because if you do, you will ruin our chance of getting this gadget. And I'm serious. Because we're waiting for FDA approval. And if you mess it up, we'll come and get you.
Yeah, it will be difficult. I guess I can show you a picture of the device. Somebody in the question asked, what
Yeah.
does it look like, right? So
Yeah.
let me. Can you see it?
Yes, very nice.
So this is what it looks like. You notice I mentioned and I put a lot of emphasis on these particular nodes here. You can see it almost look like a double bump, right? And they're
Mhm.
folded. And this provides excellent contact with the skin. All right. And it's sitting on this particular charger. So when you put it down there, it's charging it.
Hmm,
Okay.
Hmm.
So it's very simple.
okay. Yeah, well, at TE, there are 3 gels they showed. One's sort of body gel or something that's kind of gritty. And
Yeah. Yeah.
another one is what is it? It's just a
I
sponge.
think the one that was brown bottle that was kind of gritty is an exfoliation that you need to exfoliate your skin before you use it the best. One is called the activating gel, and the other one I think is restore.
Yeah. I
A
think
body
there's
polish.
two.
That's right. Serena got a body polish. You have to
Yeah, a
polish your
body
skin.
serum. Is that called a body serum?
One, I
Something
don't-
like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's the body serum you're referring to, Marguerite. So anyway, there are 2 gels that come with it.
Mhm.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
Yeah,
I guess there are no more questions, right? We stop.
Yeah. we got, well, no, and four more people put messages in.
Well,
Oh,
maybe I'll stop the
So-
recording. Maybe I'll stop the recording. So
no, there's George wants to, can you show the slides about the gels? I don't know
Can
if
I
that's,
show what with the gel?
yeah. Can you do that?
Can I show the
The one
gel?
you were showing a minute ago, you only show one picture, but the rest of the picture shows the gels that goes with it. I think they are requesting that.
George is
We-
sharp. It's like a hawk. Nothing escapes him. All right, let me see. What do I have? Share screen. No.
Oh, somebody asking would it incorporate with infrared in the future? Well, we'll probably have a new gadget out for that.
Yeah, you probably want to see this one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
So you can see the 3 R's, right? So the body activating gel is great for all that, both the restoration and recovery. And then the body serum is primarily focused on revitalizing your appearance.
Wow,
Mm.
this is nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody,
What was that?
no, somebody is having their Julie whatever is having need to mute herself. I'm muting them. Okay. I think there was just a message from John Chua. Hold on, let me find out what her question was. Okay, so Christine Chua says, Dr. Joe, may I confirm if I saw it correctly that the well spa is pulsating between plus and minus, while the old body spa pulsates only within the minus range?
Charge.
The charge. No,
Yes.
actually, the well spa, it's the figure that I tried to show you up and down, right? There was a sort of electrical charge diagram in one of my slides. It doesn't denote plus or minus. It just the power of the electrical current. All right. So in fact, this new technology that we have, it really is less dependent on charge to get an ingredient into the skin now, right? Because the electrical, this is almost like a neutral electrical current that we are applying onto the skin. And the way that it helps the ingredients to get into the skin is to open up the pores.
Mm,
All right. And so that it's almost like a sieve. We make the skin to be a little bit more absorbing with the well spa, right? So in fact, that skin being more responsive to ingredients will actually last longer than a few minutes, and other of our personal care products can benefit from that as well. You get it
Wow.
better result on the skin. Yeah.
Mm.
You see,
Okay.
so with all those folks on this particular call, right? I mean, I think I'm assuming everybody understands what I'm talking or referring to when I say this has the potential to become, in fact, a high potential to be a sponsoring product. Okay. And I think it's almost like I'm looking at this device. If I sort of frankly wish to establish another company, a device focusing on the device, this will be the device that I can take and be able to create that opportunity.
yeah.
You
Yes, Joe, Dr. Joe, I know this device, I feel by itself, it probably could be another company if you wanted it. But
Yeah,
I feel like for us, new skin distributors, if we have this gadget, we could use that as a recruiting tool.
Yeah.
As demo tools. And then we really can, everybody can use it essentially. Oh, the
yeah,
question,
yeah.
how about a teenager after sports? I guess teenager is not bad.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
they sort of get all kinds. It's almost like a trick, right? I look upon this. Okay, everybody says, well, in order for me to get a device, the customer or somebody, when I show it to, has to show immediate benefits or quick benefits. Well, you get that with this particular device. But for me, that is just a sharp point of a spear to open it, and with regular use of this device, that individual or that user will get more than just skin benefit.
Yeah.
The
Um,
internal health benefits is going to kick in.
That's right.
Yeah.
I believe, so I am not speaking for company, I'm speaking for myself. We were at Geneva, at the TE meeting there for the
Yeah.
USA, and we saw the gadget, and then different people tried, and their face, after they use it really for the back of the neck, and their face went up. The people, I used it for my kimono arm. It does a little bit, which is like the picture you have, just using it once for 3 minutes, it just shows a little bit. So I need to do it like every day for like 12 weeks, and then I'll
Right.
have beautiful young looking arm, right?
Yeah.
And I think for people with Alan the gal tried it, asked me to do his back, and
Mhm.
you could see his back so different. And then you could, Pat tried it, and then his shoulder feels so much more relaxed.
Mhm.
So I think it's for everyone, young, old. Well, I don't know how young is young. I say for somebody who's doing sports, probably could try it. So it's good for everyone. It's a good business tool if you want to look at it. You could recruit, you could prospect everyone, and everyone can use it. So probably we're gonna have lots of Team Elite created because of that, this gadget when it comes.
Or at the very least, create everybody who can afford to go to Geneva now, right?
Yeah,
So,
someone asked, may I ask who has numbness on their leg, can they use? Yeah, if you have numbness on the leg,
Who's making all that noise?
I don't know, oh, sorry. Somebody didn't meet that. That's down. Yes.
somebody's listening to some Chinese opera, so I think it's also probably good time on the hour
Yeah,
to
it is.
maybe finish the call. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. So
yeah. Pat,
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, Joe. You really brought in a lot of excitement about this parties. I mean, WellSpa.io. I
Mhm.
mean, I have a feeling that a lot of us on this call will lose sleep tonight, thinking what it can do to our business. And well, I hope you have enough inventory for this device that's coming up.
that we do. Okay, to be honest with you, I think we have enough build to satisfy you guys. But obviously, I mean, like everything else in New Skin, we're forecasting something which I hope with this call, it will help many of you to be able to help meet the forecast.
Yeah, because, well, I think some markets are getting this ahead of certain other markets. So
Yeah.
we'll see. It'll be very exciting indeed.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay, well,
All right.
let's thank Dr. Chang for his tremendous lecture tonight. And I'm sure a lot of you are very excited about this. And well, thanks, Joe, for
Thank
all
you.
the information. Okay. Okay, let me
Yeah.
stop recording now.
Okay. Bye, everybody.